Hello there, you're welcome again to Prep with Chigozie, and in today's segment we're going to be discussing more English words. We're focusing particularly on words whose pronunciation as well as spellings even I consider strange. Yes, and often I don't blame students who misspell or mispronounce these words because come on, try pronouncing this for example. Croissant, that is wrong. It is pronounced croissant. So it is strange to think that you have a lot of letters that are just useless. So the word is pronounced croissant and is a. Next on my list is this. I think everybody pretty much knows how to pronounce this word. It is pronounced psychology. But then I think it is on my list because it brings to mind a conversation I had with a friend sometime, and the friend described another friend as being as useless as the P in psychology. His one describes me as useless as the P in psychology. Trust me, your own is done for. Because that P is pretty useless to think about it. Come on. Such long word, almost every letter is pronounced except you. You have to be pretty useless. The P in psychology is very, very useless. The next word I have here is try. Yes, words with letters that are not pronounced. Benign. The G is silent, and the N-I-G-N isn't pronounced the way you would typically pronounce a lot of other words in English, right? So I understand if you can pronounce or spell that word. However, it is benign. It means subtle, mild. So you can take, for example, the symptoms of the sickness is, in the first stage, benign. Likewise, this word, subtle. I think a good number of people know how to pronounce this, by the way, but I still consider it strange. Why do we have the B there if we don't have to pronounce it in the first place? So it is pronounced subtle. Quite synonymous with the word benign, something soft, mild, almost unnoticeable, insignificant. Oh, he made subtle jibes at the secretary. So you see, yeah, subtle is a word. Another on my list is this word. Yeah, it is pronounced cologne, a kind of perfume, by the way. Oily perfume. It is cologne. Next on my list is this. I didn't hear that. Certainly it is pronounced mortgage. Not even mortgage. Mortgage. And the T is unfortunately useless. It's a kind of loan that you have to pay back on the purchase of a property or an asset. Yes, it is mortgage. Next on my list is this. Yes, we all know how to pronounce this word, not in writing, not in written form. I bet if you see it in an essay or a novel you're reading, you're about to not pronounce it correctly. High chances that you're not going to pronounce it correctly. We all know when we see a long line of people waiting to board the bus, we refer to them as or queue. But then if you're reading, you're tempted to want to say qui, and I wouldn't blame you either. It is a funny word. The word is queue. Almost the same way as we pronounce Q. Not even almost. I think it's exactly the same way you pronounce the word Q. C-U-E. My list is this word. Yeah. This is indict. No, it's indict. Indict means, of course, to make an accusation, to make a claim about somebody. Yeah. So you can say the victim was wrongly indicted of the crime. So you see, it is indict. Quite funny. I see. Useless I see. The next on my list. Now, these are two words, and I think more often than not, we confuse both of them. One is a noun, the other is a verb. So you want to try pronouncing both? And try it for yourself. Which one do you think is a noun and which one do you think is a verb? Now, the first one, this one here, is pronounced bathe. Bathe. That is a verb. Right? He bathed the baby. So you see, not bath. It's bathe. Right? Whereas this one right here is bath, which is of course the noun. I want to have a bath, not I want to go and take my baths. Is I want to have a bath or I need to bathe. So you see, there are two different words. Likewise, this and this. One is try. This is cloth, whereas this is clothe. This is the noun, a material, a fabric. Oh, I got the cloth from the market. Oh, I caught this piece of cloth from this material. So you see, cloth, clothe, the process of adorning yourself in a cloth, if that makes sense. Next we have is this word. Yes, I think the British people made this word a little unnecessarily difficult. Why do we have the E and the U together if we are going to end up pronouncing it as not maneuver? Maneuver, of course, to sort of meander your way around something, to navigate your way around something, often used in a negative context. To be cunning, you can say someone is sort of maneuvering, not maneuver, is maneuver. Next on my list is this word. This is a common word because even I am in the choir and nobody mispronounces this word, but I still consider it a weird word because there are so many letters there that are not pronounced the way you would expect they are pronounced. Choir, I don't know why you have the O and the I if we're going to pronounce them as wa. So yeah, that's choir, right? Next is pronounced though as a contrast transition in some cases, and in some other cases a subordinate conjunction, right? I enjoy rice. I don't eat it all the time though. So you see the G and the H is pretty silent, but look at it in this case. Trough, a feeding container for farm animals. So I still don't understand why the GH in this one is quite produced. Of course, I bet you never knew how to spell this, just as I am sure you won't be able to pronounce it correctly. It is pronounced thorough, to do something quite well, to pay closer attention to something. Let's say you thoroughly cleaned the house. Thorough. I don't know what the GH is doing there. And then we have this, through. He passed through the market. So you see, yeah, GH pronounced in different ways in different situations. Quite weird, right? Yes. I have so many of them, but these are the ones that just occur to me. Oh, hey, there's one more after this one, of course. Try pronouncing this. Yes. You won't be so wrong if you pronounce it as lieutenant, because that is how the American pronunciation of the word is. And I find that a little easier, which is why I sort of patronize American pronunciation some more. But unfortunately for some of us, we were colonized by the British, hence we pronounce words the way the British would. So yes, I often encourage my students to pronounce as lieutenant. That is how the British pronunciation for the word goes, right? The Americans find a way of making things a lot easier for people. So whatever however you fancy pronouncing it, it isn't necessarily wrong. It is lieutenant, British pronunciation, lieutenant, American pronunciation. Oh, as for what it means, is referring to maybe a lower ranking officer in the Navy or an army. Finally is this word. I'm sure we've all come across this in our phones, and we are tempted to pronounce it as cache. Mba is not cache. It is pronounced as cash. Not the same way you pronounce this, money. Cash. Of course, where you have important information stored for when you lose your phone or you have to transfer files. So that is pronounced cash. So I hope this was such an interesting episode, as I had fun doing it. Yes, so until I come your way next time with another exciting moment as this, yeah, keep making even the slightest attempt to pronounce and spell words better. See you next time. Bye-bye.